Tonight, RTV6 is focusing on accountability when it comes to you and your family's safety. Why a community could lose a majority of its first responders who won't be there to put out the flames.
If it was your child, somebody that you love, and you lost them, you would want someone to tell. You would want someone to talk.
A mother desperate for answers refuses to rest until her son's killer is brought to justice. Why she's keeping the fight alive. The holidays are meant to warm your heart, not cause it to wear out, breaking down the increase in cardiac arrest cases this time of year. And he's among the last of his kind in the country. Tonight, the sights and more importantly, the sounds of the historic tradition he's carrying on right here in the Midwest.
This is RTV6 News at 5, working for you.
Good evening to you here at 5 o'clock. I'm Mark Mullins. Amanda Starantino is off tonight. Major changes are on the way for an Indiana fire department, and they're changes which some firefighters say could impact your safety. RTV6's Megan Sanctorum was in Owen County today to find out what those changes are and why others say they're necessary for the long-term success of the department.
This is the Owen Valley Fire Department. It's quiet and closed up now because, with the exception of the chief, those who make up the department are all volunteers. They respond as calls come in, but after the first of the year, the total number of volunteers could drastically decrease. Today, the Owen Valley Volunteer Firefighter Incorporated Group announced they were unable to reach a contract agreement with the Owen Valley Fire Territory Board. Some say they never had a chance to negotiate the contract offered to them, and they don't feel comfortable signing it the way it is now. So at the end of the year, this department will lose their agreement with the volunteer organization and potentially lose around 20 firefighters.
We run over 300 calls a year, and the majority of those are fires and car accidents. So the safety is definitely going to be a big point here, because you're not going to have the manpower as you once did.
I think it's a little bit concerning. It's a small town, so that's going to have a big impact on our community. And we do have several fires around here each year, unfortunately. So I think it's pretty important that we keep those volunteers.
An attorney for the board that oversees the department tells me the contract they offered to the volunteer organization was fair and the first step in an effort to eventually become a department with paid staff. They recently hired a full-time chief and hope to hire 2 firefighters over the next year. He says it's becoming increasingly difficult to find volunteer firefighters, so this change is necessary. He's confident some of the volunteers will still respond to fires that happen after the first of the year. The volunteer firefighters will hold an emergency meeting here tonight at 6 to talk about the upcoming changes. Working for you, Megan Sanctorum, RTV6.
An Indianapolis mother is hoping to keep her son's name and legacy alive after he was shot and killed 1 year ago today. Tonight, family and friends are hosting a prayer vigil in his honor. RTV6's Kelsey Anderson spoke with the mother and learned what she's doing to make sure that her family can get closure and people remember her son.
All I need is justice. That's all I want. That's all.
Mary East lost her only son 1 year ago today. And every day since then, she has worked to get the answers she needs, whether it be through social media posts or going door to door at the apartment complex where her son was shot and killed.
All I'm trying to do is get my son's story out. And I know a lot of people know what happened. And I know that they probably scared. But think about it. If it was your child, somebody that you love, and you lost them, you would want someone to tell. You would want someone to talk.
She tells me her son, Aaron Lamont Grice Jr., was severely beaten and shot the night after Christmas over a dice game. The last thing he did while fighting for his life was call his mom for help, and now she's fighting to get answers for him. She says she won't be able to heal until her son's killer is behind bars.
I'm grieving, but it's not getting any better, because for once, I know they out in the streets and I know they living their life. But for me to start healing, they said I need to forgive, but I can't forgive someone that they won't even admit to what they did.
East says without her son, her family will never be the same.
You took a life, you took a father, you took a son, you took a grandson, that everybody that looks for him every day and is missing him every day.
Working for you, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
And there is a vigil tonight at 6 o'clock at Canterbury Apartments in honor of Aaron Lamont Grice Jr. We reached out to Lawrence Police about this case, and they say it's still an active investigation, but no suspects or persons of interest have been named in this case in over the last year. They are asking anyone with information to call Crime Stoppers to make an anonymous tip. That number is 317-262-TIPS. If you want to see a change happen in your community or there's a problem you want to see solved, connect with RTV6. You can call us, message us on Facebook, or email us at workingforyou@rtv6.com. Time now for your Storm Team 6 forecast, and these days have been feeling amazing, but of course, a lot of good things always have to come to an end, right?
Yeah, the end is in sight, but not near. Does that make sense?
That does make sense. I like that.
Days. So if you're counting 5 days in a row, 50 degrees or warmer, 2 days in a row, 60 or warmer. We didn't get historical credit. We missed the record by 2 degrees. 65 was our high today. The record back in the 1800s at 67. We should be at 36 degrees. Unbelievable is how I would describe these temperatures that we have. Terre Haute, you win. Vigo County up to 67 today. Other temperatures solidly in the 60s despite cloud cover increasing throughout the day. Temperature in Indy right now is 62, 64 down in Evansville, in the 50s in Fort Wayne. See the cooler air? It's off to the north and west. We'll be a little cooler tomorrow when our wind switches direction. It's out of a mild south direction right now. Northwest winds will keep our temperatures in the 50s tomorrow. We'll drop into the 50s tonight. A slow temperature drop because of the cloud cover, and we may have a few sprinkles or two. We'll talk about some spotty showers coming up.
If you know a car lover or you're in the market for a new ride in the new year, now's your time to zip downtown for the Indy Auto Show. It just got underway today at the Indiana Convention Center. The show features all the latest models of cars, trucks, and SUVs. But as organizers say, one of the strengths is there is no salesperson there who might want to steer you in a certain way.
We have an opportunity for people to come in comparison, shop without someone trying to sell you something. And for a lot of people, that's a welcome relief of any type of sales pressure to come in and ask their questions.
You'll also get to check out various race cars and meet some Formula 3 drivers. It costs $7 to get in. The auto show runs every day through January 1st. This month marks a huge milestone for a local organization that works to keep food on the table for Hoosiers who need it. Gleaners Food Bank has now distributed over 500 million pounds of food and critically needed non-food items to people in central and southeastern Indiana. Leaders at Gleaners say the challenge of hunger can influence crime, education, health, and the economy. So it is working to strengthen the state's food supply system even further. Gleaners is also celebrating its 40th year in service this year. Still ahead here on RTV6 News at 5. It may be just the worst time of year to have to go to the hospital, but that's exactly what's happening more and more. The link between cardiac arrest and the holidays. Plus, the mother of the bride has the wedding all set until she suddenly has no cake for the big day. How to protect yourself this coming spring with wedding vendors. Next.
Down, 0 deposit, 0 first month, and 0 due at signing.
This is RTV6 News at 5. Working for you.
Well, no one wants to spend time in the hospital over the holidays, but researchers have found a link between heart attacks and this time of year. The reason why is up for debate. Chloe Nordquist dives into doctors' theories.
This time of year is filled with shopping and holiday cheer.
Merry Christmas for you.
Yeah.
But along with the sweets and the sweaters comes a third S, stress.
I definitely get stressed when I'm shopping, just to make sure like everyone will like the gift that I get them and it doesn't just sit there all year.
Shopping, I think families stresses families out.
Holiday stress is a real problem for a lot of people.
I decided just this week that part of it is trying to juggle everybody's different expectations.
One survey shows around 62% of people experience some level of stress during the holidays. Only 10% say they're not stressed at all.
Everybody's looking for a perfect Christmas. It's very stressful. Nobody wants to ruin anybody else's good time.
That stress can take a toll.
There's a peak of heart attacks Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Day.
Dr. Ira Dauber is a physician at a cardiology center.
Heart function and valve function.
He helps patients with a variety of heart issues.
There's more than one medical study saying that there is such a thing as a holiday heart attack.
One study found the highest risk for a heart attack is on Christmas Eve. Those heart attacks can be deadly. Researchers found a more than 4% increase in heart-related deaths between December 25th and January 7th.
What causes the spike in holiday heart attacks is really a hard thing to know. So a lot of the theory is it's a stressful time of year.
The theories on why this happens changes depending on the doctor you talk to.
The short answer is yes, that stress can be a factor in heart attacks.
Dr. David Avner is an emergency medical physician at UC Health. He says a lot of other factors contribute to this spike, like traveling more around the holidays, forgetting medications like blood pressure pills at home, or simply not speaking up when you don't feel well.
You might not want to interrupt the festivities to say, you know what, I'm having some chest discomfort. You don't want to be shy about letting family or friends know or even calling 911.
And there are ways to lower your risk, too. He says to monitor your diet, avoid fatty foods, and make sure you're taking medications regularly.
And you do need to be paying attention to what your body normally can do and any changes in that.
Heart attacks announce themselves very differently in different people.
There are ways to keep your stress at bay.
If you go to a spa and that helps you feel relaxed, that's going to help. If you go for a walk or you like to go to the gym and that's your outlet for stress release, then I think those will probably be equally as effective.
I'm excited for Christmas, and I'll be ready when it's over, too.
I'm Chloe Nordquist reporting.
Well, you may be feeling a bit down now that Christmas has come and gone. That feeling is commonly known as the post-holiday blues. It's different from seasonal affective disorder. The post-holiday blues are a sense of a letdown after the hustle and bustle of the holidays. It usually happens because the holiday season can be a really active and engaging time for us, and once that's over, we have less to look forward to. But psychologists at Ohio State University say it's normal to feel this way.
You know, I think part of this is just the natural phenomenon of being human. So we get this wonderful season, if we're lucky, right, where we're engaged and we're active and we're getting to, see the people we care about, and there's so much reinforcement that it really is very natural to have a little bit of a sense of letdown.
Experts suggest you make sure to get some rest after the holiday hustle, but it can also help if you plan activities to keep yourself engaged and shake off the holiday blues. So here's a rundown of things you can still do. Christmas at the Zoo continues through December 30th at the Indianapolis Zoo. You can visit Santa's Barn, go through the Tunnel of Lights, or visit the Penguin Encounter. Winter Lights at Newfields is open through January 5th. Non-member tickets for adults cost $25. It's $17 for kids 6 through 17, and kids 5 and under get in for free. And lights at the Brickyard will be shining through January 5th at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Tickets start at $25. Well, highs were in the mid-60s here in Indiana, and heavy snow just north of Los Angeles. We're not sure what to make of it, and neither are those Californians. Freeways came to a standstill overnight after a major winter storm brought heaps of snow to Southern California. Los Angeles itself got rain, but forecasters say resorts up in the mountains could get up to 1 to 2 feet by the time this is all done. They've got a winter storm warning until 10 o'clock tonight. Mother Nature is just shaking things up no matter where you are.
So we're warm, they're cold.
Right.
I like that word, heaps.
Heaps of snow.
Yeah, maybe I'll forecast that. We're going to have heaps of snow. No real snow in our forecast. More mild temperatures and some rain. Let's talk about what's happening. A white Christmas, not for most of the country. We just showed you some California snow from today, but you go into the Rockies, you got the snow, and then closer to the U.S.-Canadian border. We've pretty much erased all evidence in central Indiana. Of course, there are piles that, got stacked up, or if you have shaded areas where the snow lives on a little bit longer. This is what we're talking about. Here's the dip in the jet stream, cooler air out to the west. We've got our plume of moisture with the clouds arriving now, and it's feeding warm temperatures. 36 in Kansas City, Chicago living large as well, 58. 63 in Indianapolis, or in Memphis and Atlanta. We're just as warm as the deep south. Want to show you the storm system in California that brought the snow. You see it spinning here. That will be our rainmaker, maybe as early as Saturday night, definitely on Sunday. That will move our way, but prior to that, temperatures are still very mild. 59 in Richmond, 62 in Lafayette. Other temperatures still in the 60s. Will be slow to drop this evening. That wind out of the southwest and the cloud cover will keep our temperatures pretty steady. Okay, say hello to Burgess. He is flying through the snow. This is a dream, though, for Burgess because, of course, there's no snow. So he's dreaming,
look at him, right?
Dreaming of what it would be like to go galloping through snow. We thank Jacqueline Rosales for sending in the picture. Love it. Temperatures, they'll be in the 50s through the evening hours. You can send your pet's photo to me at kevin.gregory@wrtv.com. Be happy to walk your dog. 11 o'clock tonight, there are the very spotty showers and a few sprinkles. Those live with us through the overnight hours. A cold front is generating those. Our temperatures will be noticeably cooler tomorrow, but still way above average. Should make it into the 50s in most locations. More cloud cover through the first half of the day. A little sun breaks through later. Temperatures struggle to hit 50 to the north, mid-50s south, and temperatures a couple spots maybe a little warmer than that. What changes for the weekend? Temperature goes back up, but our rain chances also increase, peaking Saturday night into Sunday, the most likely time for the rain. Our temperatures first half of the weekend all the way back up to 60 for the high. Warmest temperatures, though, on Sunday. The wind also increases as the storm system starts winding up to our west. It pulls in the warmer temperatures, but the rain marks the end of our string of very mild days. Even when we cool off, 41 is still respectable for this time of the year. 38,
that's not bad.
38 is average. So, but we just get back to average January temperatures. It will feel cold.
We can't complain.
No.
All right. Thank you, Kevin, for that. Well, the new year brings the start of wedding planning season for all the couples who will be tying the knot in 2020. But before you give a down payment to a vendor, consumer reporter John Matarese has a warning so you don't waste your money.
Millions of couples are planning weddings in 2020, and in the coming weeks, we'll be calling photographers, limo services, bakeries, and others. But one mom has a lesson for brides-to-be about checking out that cake baker very carefully. Angela West thought she had everything planned for her daughter's wedding.
The bride and the groom.
She had ordered a unique square-tiered cake from a top-rated cake shop, but she just learned the shop is closed.
You know, they should have gave us a letter stating that we're going out of business. Can we come and get our refund?
She says the shop still has her $75 cake deposit.
No refund.
No refund.
No refund at all.
Unfortunately, this happens so often when a small business goes under and people have made a down payment on a product or a service. So if you're planning a wedding this spring, make sure you have confidence in that wedding vendor. The two women who own the building are now liquidating the contents. They say they feel terrible for customers, but there's nothing they can do.
I feel really bad about it. I really do.
So don't let this happen to you. Check a wedding vendor's Better Business Bureau report. Then check their Yelp reviews. And make your down payment with a credit card for your safety, not cash, check, or Venmo. And Angela's not sure if her daughter can order a specialty cake now on such short notice.
I know how much important this is to her.
Remember, paying a wedding vendor with a MasterCard or Visa is always safe. It's because the vendor closes or disappears, you can reverse the charge, and you don't waste your money. Working for you, I'm John Matarese for RTV6.
Well, still to come as you head to the theater to catch a new movie. Imagine an organ playing in the background inside the rare historic tradition at one Midwestern theater. Next.
Cherokee models in dealer stock.
Welcome back to RTV6 News at 5. If you've ever been mesmerized by living history, our next story is sure to capture your imagination. 5 shows a day, 5 days a week, one man steps into a theater to keep a century-old tradition alive. Ashar Karashi has his story tonight.
The smell of freshly popped corn, salted and buttered. The fizziness of an ice-cold soda. And inside Theater 3 of the Chase Park Plaza Cinema, a throwback to the movie houses of yesteryear. Meet Jerry Marion.
It is my passion. I love it. I really love it.
At 70 years old, he's among the last working cinema organists in the country.
Not too many left. There's the Chase here and the El Capitan Theater downtown LA are the only 2 theaters in the country that use their instruments.
So what's it like when you sit down at the organ?
I'm like in a different world.
For the last 20 years, he's played this electronic orchestral instrument for audiences between movie showings.
When I play Phantom of the Opera, they love it.
A preamble to the latest Hollywood picture.
We did Phantom of the Opera, and We had 130 people here on Saturday and 110 people here on a Sunday.
The theater organ, also known as a unit orchestra, can mimic a host of sounds, from flutes and oboes to strings and percussion.
It's an orchestra in one.
Designed to allow musicians like Marion to have all the instruments at their fingertips.
These theater organs basically were intended to do the silent movie, accompaniment for the silent.
So essentially you could score the film
Score the film live, yes.
Marion committed his life to the art after seeing legendary theater organist Stan Can play at the Fox Theater in 1961.
My dad took me up there, and I told him right then and there that this is what I want, this is my vocation.
More than 50 years later, Marion says he has no plans to stop playing just yet.
I don't know, but I love doing it. It's my life. It's my love.
Reporting from St. Louis, I'm Usher Qureshi.
Amazing stuff there to see. Coming up here at 6 o'clock on RTV6, grab your next job by the wheel, the need for more Indigo bus drivers, and why current drivers love showing up to work each day. But first on the Now Indy, more companies are paying off employees' student debt. We'll explore what they're getting out of offering you this. You're watching RTV6. Let's give you right now a live look from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway toward the downtown Indy skyline. Kevin will be back on the Now Indy to give you a check of the forecast for tonight. You're watching RTV6.